and I'm President and CEO of the Greater Reading Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I want to welcome you in joining our Member Spotlight. It's a new show that we're going to be running, spotlighting some of our chamber members, telling you their story. Lots of people always ask me about how companies start their companies, and we want to be able to tell you those stories. So our first guest, Hamid, you are the first of the first. Hamid Chaudhry, one of our entrepreneur members of the Chamber. His company is Hibbs of Kenhorst, although many of you probably know him as a serial entrepreneur in owning a number of Dairy Queens. So Hamid, you are the American success story, an immigrant from Pakistan that came to America, and now you are a beloved member of our community and very well-respected business owner. How is it that you came from Pakistan to Reading, Pennsylvania?
I'm just a blessed man, and we can plan all we want, but what God has planned for you, I guess we can't. We don't control that. Summer of 2001, I got fired from my job on Wall Street, and things weren't looking that good. I got married about less than a year before that, in August 2000, and my wife went to med school, and she was looking to pass the American equivalency exam and look for residency, which is about a 2 to 3 year long process. It was a blessing in disguise. Us living in New York, me getting fired was a pretty good thing that could have happened to us. That opened up the whole country for us, and we were looking for anywhere, everywhere. And a lot of applications. Actually, when the last time I quoted 4,000 applications, wife got a little upset, but she got over it. 4,000 applications, 3 interviews, 1 offer. 1 offer was Reading Hospital.
Wow, how about that?
And first I came in, initially I wanted to continue in corporate America, but the opportunities were very rare. And I couldn't find the right fit. September 11th happened. Market wasn't that good to begin with, and a guy named Hamid, things were a little bit tough back in 2001 and 2002. Luck would have it, there was a rundown Dairy Queen owner. I just walked up to him one day. I was having lunch. I said, "If you're interested in selling it, I would like to buy it."
You were just having lunch at the Dairy Queen?
Lunch at the Kenhorst Dairy Queen. Walked up to him, and I said to him, "If you're interested in selling, hey, I'm a buyer." So he threw out a number. Number was $425,000. Okay, to get 400, and I looked at my total savings after selling my car was $30,000. So how do you come up with $425,000 with a $30,000 down money? But the luck would have it, when people were buying $500,000 homes and the banks were lending easy money, I bought a Dairy Queen.
Okay. And so you were able to finance that?
I was able to finance
most of it.
Pretty much very close to all of it.
Okay.
Through the local bank, small bank called Blue Ball Bank.
Okay.
And the next thing is history. Once I was in.
Yeah. Was that an interesting conversation with your wife?
Very,
a leap of faith?
Very interesting. Extremely, with my siblings too. Because I ended up emptying out my brother's credit cards for the working capital. And now looking back 12 years later, I think it was a little bit risky venture.
Yeah. Now, had you been thinking about buying a business, or was this truly just an inspiration as you were sitting there having lunch, or were you thinking about becoming a small biz owner?
I put myself through school working at the Drake Hotel in Chicago. I went to University of Illinois. I started off as a dishwasher. I kept getting promoted. When I left, I was assistant room service manager. So when I was on Wall Street, there was part of me wasn't happy, wasn't satisfied. I was making good money. I was doing well, but I wasn't happy. I was working 80 to 90 hours a week at every job I had, but the job satisfaction wasn't there. Money was there, but the satisfaction wasn't there. And then when you have almost 2 years to look back at your life when you're unemployed, it gives you a lot of time to think. So I said to myself, the happiest professional times in my life were when I was working with food and with people.
Okay.
So even though ice cream and fast food wasn't on horizon, I was thinking more in the lines of family restaurant or a fine dining.
Okay.
But hey, life gives you lemon, you make lemonade, or in my case, they give you soft serve, and I made milkshakes or blizzards.
There you go. So what were some of the challenges when you first opened the store? You said you had some experience having worked in the hotel industry. But what were some of the bigger challenges you had when all of a sudden it was you on the line?
Initially, I thought my challenges will come from customers or the senior citizens, that they will have a hard time understanding me or dealing with me, having an accent and speech impediment. But that wasn't the case. My senior citizens, they loved me from day one. They when I got it wrong, they'll smile at me and they'll say, just get it right next time. I don't have to redo their cone or their banana splits. They were happy with me. My toughest time I had was dealing with the teenagers.
Okay.
And so times have changed. I was a teenager a long time ago, and that's where my challenges came from, because the world had moved forward in 30 years or 20 some years since I was a teenager.
Right.
But I really had to work at it.
Right.
But now I guess dealing with teenagers is my strength.
Amazingly so, yeah.
I mean, 12 years later, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, totally differently.
Yeah. That was what was my weakness turned into my strength.
Right.
And I think maybe me having my personality, I guess the ADD and part of my personality is I'm always 17-year-old, because that's my average coworker age is 17.
Right. Well, I think it probably doesn't hurt that you're their biggest supporter too. But tell me about your decision to buy 2 additional Dairy Queens.
They just fell in my lap, one after another. The best kept secret, which I take pride in it, I never have to pay goodwill for any of my businesses I've ever bought. The 5 businesses I own, I didn't have to pay any goodwill. The most I've paid for is the assets. One I bought it in short sale, the one at the mall, sheriff sale, and the other one I just bought the property in Exeter.
Okay.
And same thing with the Lukoil. I didn't have to pay a penny for the assets. I got a pretty sizable reduced rent and a really good cooperation from the parent company.
So there were opportunities that you were receptive to, or did they come to you, or you became aware of the opportunities that were out there and approached them?
You have to keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
So initially I approached them, but Berks County is good for business. Hey, anybody can go and put in a $2 million store in a nice shiny plaza.
Right.
You can go to King of Prussia, or you can go Exton, or you can go anywhere in a nice plaza. You can go put a $2-3 million business and restaurant and make a living. But the pride is when you take a rundown gas station in West Reading, which was empty for 6 to 8 months and nobody wanted anything to do with it, and then turn it around.
Right.
Or the closed up Quiznos, or
right. So you have the 3 Dairy Queens and the Lukoil and
a Mustang Grill in Kenhurst. It was a shut down Quiznos, and I had a great deal from landlord. Got quite a bit free rent. Didn't have to do much of a build up, and all I did spit shine and some good hard work and the word of mouth and all. Thank God, all the 5 businesses are independent and self-sustained.
That's wonderful. Now, I noticed you have an umbrella company called Hibbs of Kenhorst. So, what's the story behind that name?
When my wife and I, we were thinking, she was pregnant, and originally the whole point of buying a business was so a rundown, slow Dairy Queen was her being a physician. So she was going to be the bread earner, and I was going to be Mr. Mom. So that's the idea when we went in.
Okay.
So the name came up. So H was my initial, I my mom's initial, B my unborn son Bilal's initial, and S Sana, my wife's initial. So that's how we named the company. And Kenhurst, that's what we were buying the Dairy Queen in Kenhurst.
Okay.
And that has been our good luck charm.
I'll say. It's a good family support from the start.
Yes, good.
Now, Hamid, a lot of people say, how does that Hamid stay in business? He's just way too generous. I mean, you are known for your philanthropic giving, your support, your charitable contributions. I can't even guess how many fundraisers you have supported. How can you afford to be so generous?
We take pride in the community we do business in. It's the community which keeps me employed, and we do about 100,000 a year through various fundraisers. If it is different Exeter schools, Mifflin, or Crime Alert, or a number of others groups who we deal with, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and God knows a lot of smaller groups. We work with, or God forbid somebody's home get burned down, or kid has cancer,
right?
Things like that. Normally we do anywhere from 50 to 100%, depending on the kid. Like when Lainey Brown passed, we did 100%. So it all depends on the cause. Somebody's home burned down, we give them 70% of the sales.
Right.
A father of 4 had cancer, we gave 100%. So all depends on the cost. But the minimum we do is at least 40%, 40 to 50% for the any school night. We'll do that. Basically, I don't want to make any money from them.
Right.
After we take out our 38%, 40% food cost, then we put in any additional labor we needed to help that event. That's all we want. We don't want to take any more money. The last thing I want to do is take the money off from widows and orphans. God knows.
Right.
But the way you want to look at it, bigger names, let's say if you're a first-tier franchise, you're spending anywhere about 10 to 11% on marketing of your sale.
Okay, good point.
God bless Berks County. I don't have to spend that kind of money.
Right.
And we're tight knit, and a tight knit community. Everybody knows everyone, and you gotta use the strengths what we have.
Right.
Having such a tight knit community, you have to support the community, and community keeps you employed.
Right. Well, Hamid, we were, as a chamber, very proud to nominate you for an award with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and you were recognized by them. And I know that's something you wouldn't seek yourself, so we were happy to seek it on your behalf. And how was your time in Washington?
Excellent. I believe I'm the first and only Berks County winner.
Yep, I think so.
So I'm proud of the fact that we won the U.S. Chamber National Award. I got to meet Colin Powell. I got to meet Steve Case. It was an excellent experience, great experience. They announced from Hamid Chaudhry from Berks County. That was a proud moment, and they did a little slideshow of the pictures, and
nice.
It was a big honor. They announced me they announced the winners at the last day.
Right.
The first 2 days I was nobody, but the last 4 hours everybody knew me.
Wonderful. Well, certainly most of Berks County knows you, and we thank you for being such a valued member of our community and a valued member of the Chamber. In closing, do you have any advice for other people that are aspiring to start a business or buy a business?
Money is a byproduct. Find a job which you like. The main thing is you have to like what you do. Money will eventually come. if you're gonna buy a business, don't think of it you're gonna make money and you're gonna start making money from day one. Just make sure you're a right fit and you really enjoy what you do. In my case, dealing with the families, dealing with the being involved, being a teacher's kid, that helped me a lot. Being a third generation teacher's kid, and I have two of my siblings, they're teachers.
Okay.
So that helped me a lot, and I enjoyed being around teachers and around school. So that helps.
Very good.
So like what you do. Yeah.
Thank you, Hamid, for joining us today and sharing our Member Spotlight.
Thank you very much for having me.